right. So this is our quick bread mix. Want to show the insides. And in that quick bread mix is dry quinoa that's been pre-washed and buckwheat groats, chickpeas, flaxseed, tapioca flour, psyllium seed husk powder, salt, baking soda, and baking powder. And these are all put together beforehand. And then the spices for the individual recipe are added. So go ahead and add that to the Vitamix.
Okay. And
then you're going to measure out the spices for our honey apple upside down cake, which is what we're making today. So we're going to need 2 teaspoons of cinnamon.
All right. We have a double. Okay.
And 1 teaspoon of coriander seed. And we're going to use all whole spices.
Nice.
And the nice thing about this is that the spices get ground up with the other dry ingredients. So you don't have to use pre-ground. And it's just a simple 1-step process. So 1/2 teaspoon of the decorticated cardamom.
Okay.
And you can use whole cardamom, whole green cardamom. But I just happen to have this.
Nice.
And I like it. And 1/2 teaspoon of allspice berries.
Love these. They're so beautiful. Oh.
And I always put a little bit of heat in my recipes. So you'll find black pepper in a lot of sweet recipes. So you need 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. It's one of my secret powers. Either chilies or black peppercorns.
Nice.
Okay, so we're going to put the lid on.
Okay.
And then you actually are going to need ear protection. So in the pantry, you'll find the... I see them. Because Vitamixes are quite loud. Now you're just going to turn it on all the way and leave it on for about 40 seconds to a minute. So
I'm going to go and turn it all the way.
So on the other side, you can just flip the switch and it'll just stay on.
On this side?
Yeah, so just flip it. That's about right. And then we just are going to sift it into the bowl. And I wipe out that inner part right into the sifter.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's
just to get that extra flour in there. And there's always a little bit that you'll have to regrind. It doesn't quite make it. I use Vitamix, but any high-speed blender that at least has 1200 watts will work. A good coffee grinder will also work. Or if you have a grain grinder, that will work.
Like the hand grind?
No, probably an electric. Like if your Cuisinart KitchenAid has a grain grinder, that will work.
Cool. All right.
The key is that it's at least 1200 watts, which has enough power to really grind.
Nice. Okay.
So you would think that making your own flour would be a big deal, but just, you throw it in the Vitamix, turn it on, sift it, And it's really not much longer than getting the flour and all the ingredients out and putting them together.
Nice. And this is all gluten-free?
Totally gluten-free.
Nice.
And it is made with things that aren't in the grass family.
So I'm seeing here's my little leftovers. And these guys are just from the bottom of the Vitamix. So just throw those back in.
Throw them back in and regrind.
Okay.
There'll be some chunks of chickpeas. And so one of the great things about this, it is gluten-free, but the recipes, everyone would like them, whether they have allergies or not, just because they're delicious and nutritious.
Nice.
And very high in protein.
All right. So regrind.
Second time doesn't take very long.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it makes a very nice, fine flour. And the buckwheat, quinoa, and chickpeas make almost like a cake flour. It's so fluffy.
And it's okay that there's a little bit in there.
I take my finger and just kind of work it out so that I get all of the flour out.
Okay.
Or as much as you can. And once again, take your hand and sweep the flour out of the lid. And we're just going to use the same container for the wet ingredients. So it's really just one bowl and very easy process. All right, so just dump that right in.
Okay.
And we're going to set that aside and work on the wet ingredients.
All right.
After we take care of a few things here.
Okay, so this we're going to use again. We don't rinse that or anything? We're just going to go right for it.
So actually what we're going to do next is we're going to pulse the cranberries and lemon peel together and then put that into the flour.
Okay.
So,
and how many cranberries do we need for this guy?
We need half a cup of cranberries.
Okay.
Right into the Vitamix.
That. Yes.
And then we're going to zest that lemon.
Okay.
The complete peel of that lemon.
If I go like this, I can get it in there a little better. Is this your zesting angle that you use? Some people go the other way.
I actually hold it against the cutting board and go down. Like turn it over.
Like that?
Yeah, at a sharp angle.
Okay.
I actually turn my hand around.
Yeah.
My holding hand.
Let's see.
So I grab it like this.
Mm-hmm.
And then I go like that.
Okay. All right. Interesting.
But any way you can get that peel off.
I know, right? I kind of like your way. It's appealing. No microphone. Oh, I see the angle on the microplane does make a big difference. The microplane is one of those kitchen tools that I never had, and then when I got one, I was like, oh my gosh, how did I live without this?
How did you ever live without it?
Such a good tool.
It's a great tool.
Okay.
All right, so that's going to just go in and get a swift pulse, so it's just fine.
Okay. Oh, I keep forgetting about my ear protection. Need to keep it handy. I like it. It does. It's nice.
A little bit more. Okay, so that's just going to go right into the flour.
Okay. Some of those look like they're still whole. Is that okay? Should we go one more?
One more blend.
Okay.
Yeah, they should really be ground up in there.
Yes. It goes fast, huh? From like not at all to very ground.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
Yeah. All right, so we're going to do our apples right now just to have them ready, and then we'll put our wet ingredients together.
Awesome. Hey. So
we have pre-cored, that very cool apple core,
yes,
and sliced thin. And then you're going to make a beautiful rosette around the outside layer. And because this is an upside down cake, that will become the top of the cake, which is very nice because then you won't need any frosting or any other decorating. It will just be beautiful.
Nice.
And I call this upside down, but I do it with savory breads as well. And I call it the pebbling technique because you can just kind of free form.
In particulars, I'm like, oh no, just there we go. Looking good.
And then the very last one, you'll tuck under the first.
These are so pretty, but
yeah, this makes a really nice birthday cake, holiday cake, gift cake.
I feel like I could go a few more in here. Should I just keep going so that we don't want too many, right?
Not too many.
Okay. So let's see. Is enough?
Beautiful. Just
awesome,
beautiful.
Awesome. And then we do a little
cranberries in the center. And not mounded, just kind of flat.
Okay. And these guys will rehydrate with the batter and lovely.
Totally. And now you're going to drizzle over the apples, especially that 1/4 cup of honey.
All right.
And take your spatula so you can get the little extra in there. And this glazes the apples and also provides a little bit of sweet with the tart. And we're using a Granny Smith apple, so it's a nice tart baking apple. And I like the contrast between the sour cranberries and the sweet apple, sweet tart apple.
Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous.
All right, so now we're on to our liquid ingredients, and you want to measure a 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar. And that seems like a lot, but all of these recipes, especially with the baking mix, need a lot of acid, and I really love using the apple cider vinegar. it brings out, you're not going to taste any sour in the end.
Okay.
And now a 1/4 cup of raisin puree.
Okay.
And
that here.
I made the raisin puree just putting boiling water over raisins. I did a 1/2 cup so I'd have a little extra. And then just let them plump and then just puree them. And there you go. And a 1/2 cup of olive oil. I use olive oil in my breads, quick breads, quite a lot. It's, you don't particularly taste olive oil when you're done, but it's really a nice oil to use in baking. And the other option is unsalted butter, which you would melt. You could also use avocado oil. But I really like the olive oil. Yeah, my other bottle is
pretty close. I think of my high school home ec teacher with the precision. Okay.
And then 1 1/4 cups, we're going to use unsweetened plain soy milk. So this actually is plant-based, total plant-based cake, no eggs or milk. But you could make it with just whole milk. But it needs to be, rather than a seed milk or a oat milk or something, which would be okay, a high protein like a soy works really well with baking.
There's our 1/4.
Oh, you're so smart, Abby.
And you said 1 1/4, yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I always get to the 1 and think, how am I going to do that 1/4? And then I'm going to put in 3/4 of a cup of the whole pitted deglet dates,
Okay.
which take the place of sugar in the recipe. So you get all of the fiber and nutrition from the dates, and you also get a nice sweet cake. And I just kind of roughly smash them in there.
Okay. That looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That goes right in there. And then
Okay.
a tablespoon of the ginger paste.
Oh, yes, the ginger paste. That.
So using fresh ginger. And we need a full tablespoon.
Okay. Ugh, it smells amazing.
Yes, the whole thing with the spices and the ginger and the lemon zest and
Very festive, like a Christmas morning cake or something,
yeah,
right?
oh yeah, that would be a great Christmas morning cake.
Okay, and just right in there with that? All right.
And put your lid on and you blend it at the highest speed until you hear those dates not knock around anymore and it's all very smooth.
Okay.
A little bit longer, I think.
A bit longer? Okay.
All right, and spatula it out, and we're just going to mix it the way you would a regular cake.
Do I spatula it into that?
Right there, and then you're going to mix it like you would for muffins or a cake.
Okay.
And then that gets poured over the top of your apples, and we're going to put it in to bake.
So I'm curious when you say muffins or cake, because often like with muffins, you don't stir too much because the gluten, but that's not
Right, no
so
gluten.
much of a concern, huh?
There is no gluten. So you get a very, very tender cake, which is one of the awesome things about a gluten-free cake is that you're not dealing with it getting tough.
Lovely.
The only reason you wouldn't stir it too much for this is that it has baking soda and baking powder. So you want to keep as much volume, but get it stirred enough that it's...
Okay.
Get all those goodies.
Absolutely, we'd be doing this with my hands.
So once you have this process down, I can literally put a batch of bread in the oven in 12 minutes from the mix.
Nice.
And, you know, a lot of the breads don't have this bottom part, so you're just doing liquids and the flour. So it's it would take you a lot longer to get in the car and drive to the grocery and buy some bread.
I love it.
And a lot less delicious and more expensive.
All right, I'm feeling pretty good about that. Is that good enough?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And now we just do that blend thing, bottom to the top.
Okay. Again, thinking of home ec class, fold.
Right.
I like all the texture with the.
But there's no whipping egg whites. There's no blending butter with sugar. There's, you know, a lot of the steps are really abbreviated and taken out. It's a different way of baking.
It smells really nice. It smells really delicious.
I'm excited to try some.
Mm-hmm. So this still has a little dry. Is that correct, or do I keep going?
Keep going till
Okay.
it's all mixed.
Okay.
It's just a few more stirs. All right.
Okay.
And then just ladle that batter right in there.
Awesome. All right.
Okay, and we are done.
So this is our beautiful apple cake done from the oven. And Abby's going to flip it over, put the plate on top, and just fold the whole thing.
The moment of truth. Oh, that's not the moment of truth. The moment of truth.
And the nice thing is that these silicone molds just come out super easy. That'll just come right off.
Oh my gosh, I'm sold. I never thought I wanted one. There we go.
No, they're wonderful.
Look at that. Wow.
Beautiful.
It smells so lovely and so pretty. So pretty.
And pretty easy to do too.
Yeah.
So we're going to let that cool.
Gorgeous. Just gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Let's go over here with that. Awesome.